The big question is, once a sire proves that he's a good sire, I mean, we're not talking here about Frankel and See the Stars and, who started out at astronomically high stud fees. We're talking about horses who started out in the middle ranges. And there's plenty of examples of Tappet and Warfront and many horses who started out at low five-figure fees and ended up being top sires. So the question is, when these sires start to get the better mares, do they continue to improve their mares, or what happens? And we were really surprised when we first did the research on this. And what we found is that sires are never better than in their first crop. This is as a whole. This is the whole population of sires. The highest percentage of A runners and Group 1, Group 2 winners to foals comes in sires' first crops. Now this is, the market understands this, but all the geniuses and all the analysts who tell you that the proven sires are best, well, actually we're all wrong about that. What happens is that sires, they're best with their first, generally speaking, not always, but their first crop is their best crop. Now, as we all know, in the commercial world, from the second to the fourth crops, the line is diagonal. This is normal. This is not normal. So it's normal for horses' percentages to go down from the second through the fourth crops. But what we didn't expect is that, okay, there's a little bit of a bump with the fifth and the sixth crops when they start to get the better mares, and it comes back up a little bit, but never as high as the first crop, and then it starts to slowly slide down again. And basically the way the graph looks is from the first to the 10th crop, with the exception of maybe a fifth or sixth crop bump, there's a gradual decline in their percentages of good horses until about the 11th crop, it starts to really drop off to the point where it's only half the percentages that it was with their early crops. Now, a couple of interesting points about this. When a sire gets a good horse in his later crops, it can be, and often is, just as good as the good horses that it got in its early crops. So therefore, when a horse like, Smart Strike with his 15th or 16th crop, whenever it was, when he got that horse Battle of Midway, that was, a top Group 1 winner, he was just as good as all the good Smart Strikes earlier, but the percentage of his foals by Smart Strike that were of that standard is only half of what it was. So essentially, you're paying double the stud fee of even what the stud fee is to get the same percentage chance of having a good horse. Now, if you look at this graph, we were astonished when we first saw this, and we test it twice a year, over and over again for the last 13 years, and we have always come out with the same results. The blue line that you're looking at is the percentage of A runners to foals. And that line, as you can see, starts out and then gradually declines. The purple line is the percentage of Group 1, Group 2 winners to foals, and that has a parallel decline. But what about these three lines these three colored lines that are going up and up? The red line is the CPI, the average CPI of the dams. The green line is the yearling average for the sire. And the light blue line is their stud fee. So what happens? The sire gets good. He gets better mares. Stud fee goes up. The class of mare goes up. The yearling average goes way up because they got much better pedigrees, but the actual performance declines. We're here to tell you that proven sires aren't better. It's a myth. We're going to bust that myth. Unproven sires are actually better. We just don't know yet which ones they are. Sires have higher percentages of A runners and Group 1, Group 2 winners before we know if they're any good than they do after we do.